Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today with a Anthem news update. Today we are going to be taking a look at an interview with BioWare Edmonton's GM Aaryn Flynn and his comments about the lore of Anthem, and quite honestly I believe there is room for concern. So let's start off by reading the first set of quotes. It's a genre we call science fantasy, very much like Star Wars, very much like the Marvel Universe. You see a lot of amazing things happening, but we don't worry too much about why they are happening or how they are happening, the science of it. Mass Effect is more of a real hardcore science fiction IP. Anthem is much more about just having fun in a game world that is really lush and exotic and really sucks you in. Okay, so there's an immediate contradiction in that second sentence where we're talking about how we just want amazing things to happen and not explain them in that first part of the statement, but in the second part we're talking about having fun in a game world that's lush and exotic and sucking you in. And when gamers are absorbed in those worlds, I think it's safe to say that we want to know more about those worlds. We want explanations about the things we're seeing throughout the world itself. Furthermore, implying that your game is similar to Star Wars and Marvel, where you don't worry too much about why or how things are happening and the science of it, and that you just see amazing things, I find kind of crazy because both those universes have very deep lore. This also raises yet another red flag that we've seen in this specific genre within Destiny and Anthem, these open shared world games, which is potentially the lack of explanation in its own universe that has players interested, but the developer doesn't come up with the answers. What I mean by that is we take a look at Aaryn Flynn's first statement where he says, you see a lot of amazing things happening, but we don't worry too much about why they are happening or how they are happening, the science of it, which to me sounds like a cop-out for an explanation. Then we look at a recent interview at E3 2017 with Bungie, and they openly admit they had no idea what the darkness in Destiny actually was. In a brutally honest interview with Kotaku's Jason Schreier this week at E3, game director Luke Smith says the development team is effectively rebooting the core narrative pillar of the Destiny universe. It's all starting with a complete scrubbing of any mention of the darkness, the ominous yet vague unifying force players fought against in the first game. It turns out that not even Bungie knew what it was supposed to be or even stand for. Word for word, Luke Smith says, so I think that at a point, just totally candidly, we had no idea what it was. Straight up, we had no clue. Now, I don't know how in game development you can go ahead and pitch an idea and have zero explanation for it and somehow it still finds a way to make its way into the game. And now we look at the way BioWare is leaning, where they're saying you're gonna see amazing things happening but not worry too much about why they are happening or how they are happening. The science of it leads to me being a little more concerned with how they're gonna be handling the in-game lore and the care of its universe in general. I mean, are they just going for a technical marvel here because this game is clearly gigantic? Is that all they care about, and is that where all the focus is going? It also seems like a waste of writer Drew Karpyshyn. I've praised him many times. He's wrote Mass Effect 1, 2, as well as Knights of the Old Republic, so he clearly has the talent to write very good video games. The question is, are they going to put it to good use and let him flush out the universe properly? My growing concern with Anthem is that we constantly see them copying Destiny for both better and worse. I mean, I like the idea of an open world shared with friends, fighting for loot, doing quests together. That's awesome. But then we're seeing the issue here where Anthem has this 10-year plan, just like Destiny, where Anthem is going to say that, yeah, you're going to see amazing things, but don't worry too much about them, kind of like how Destiny went with it and then erased all its lore. It makes it hard to want to get invested in your universe if the developer isn't going to make a stable foundation to what is core within the universe itself. Why would I invest myself in a game universe when what's happening really is subject to change? I'm not trying to solely hate on Anthem. I really want to give this game a chance despite my lack of interest in it, but I have to say that this just doesn't sound like BioWare to say that, yeah, things are going to happen and you're not really going to need an explanation for it. You're not going to care about how or why. Like, does BioWare know the type of fans they have? Because those are the type of gamers they have, the ones who do care about what happens in their universe, the ones who get personally invested in the experience they're having and want to learn more about the game itself. Anyway, that'll wrap up this news update about Anthem. I am a bit concerned about how they're going to handle the lore and whatnot. I do question if they're even giving up right off the bat so they can focus on other aspects of the game. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this story in the comments down below. There will be a link to the article I covered in the description down below as well, so do be sure to check that out. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, as well as my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.